Cheat Code Support Strategist by myheadinthecoudsnotcomingdown. Read by Rat Overlord. Chapter 24, Friendship. Summary: the day after the USJ. They canceled school the day after the USJ attack to increase security, which meant that Isuku was bored. Normally, he'd be taking notes on heroes or cool quirks that he saw in the news, but all the news was covering was the attack, and he wasn't quite ready to think about that yet. He knew that he should analyze Shigaraki's quirk, or Kurogiri's warp quirk, or even the Nomu's mess of quirks, but every time he thought about the whole attack, he just froze. Hound Dog had pulled both him and May aside before they left school that day and warned them that something like this might happen, and that it was normal and to be expected, but he still felt guilty and frustrated. He didn't understand it. It's not like the villain's quirks weren't interesting. He just couldn't bring himself to think about them without panicking about the fact that he challenged a powerful villain, or thinking through everything he did wrong that led to 13 and Eraserhead being hurt. What he really wanted to do was work on his quirk reports for the first years, but that required the notebooks in his workroom and the students' files, which could only be accessed from a UI computer. He'd already emailed Netsu asking if he could come in and work on them, but he'd been told to take a well-deserved rest, so he'd, only half-jokingly, texted May and asked if she'd be down to help him break into UA. She said no. So here Isuku was, scrolling through his Keep Watching section on Netflix for the 5th time because nothing sounded good. It sucked. Isuku was just debating whether it'd be worth it to get takeout lunch when someone started pounding on the door. Isuku jumped a foot in the air and somehow ended up hiding behind the couch. Had the villains found him somehow? Was his poor attempt at a persona not enough to hide him? Isuku frowned as the person outside knocked again. Shigaraki wouldn't knock. He'd just disintegrate the door. Same with Kurogiri. If he knew where Isuku lived, he'd just warp straight into the house. But if it wasn't villains, then who could it be?
Isukun, I swear to God, if you went to UA on your own...
Isuku squeaked and raced to throw the door open and let May in. She already had her hand raised to knock again, while Shinso stood next to her, looking a little lost. May didn't waste any time pushing past him and dragging him back into his apartment by his hand.
May-chan,
Isuku stuttered.
Not that I'm not happy, but why are you here?
Making sure that you don't try and do something stupid, apparently.
Hey!
Isuku gave him a glare, then started grumbling under his breath. It's not like I would have broken into UA on my own. That'd be just stupid. Shinso raised an eyebrow.
Like breaking into UA at all wouldn't be?
Yeah, Isukun,
May said.
Look what happened to those villains yesterday. They had to deal with you.
May-chan, that was supposed to be a secret.
Isuku glanced over at Shinso in panic, but he just shrugged.
She already told me that you guys were involved when she texted me and dragged me over here,
Shinso said.
And it's not like everyone didn't know already that there was an attack. Honestly, I'm not even surprised. You two are like chaotic deities or something. Plus, there had to be some reason why I found you cuddling under your desk instead of eating lunch.
May cackled over the sound of Isuku's spluttering.
Oh, extra credit-kun! You know us so well already! Plus, I had to tell him because I needed an extra brain.
Shinso's eyes widened slightly before almost immediately going back to his default bored expression.
You really need to practice not sounding ominous.
That's so boring.
May shrugged and slammed her notebook open onto the coffee table.
Look at these!
Isuku and Shinso both leaned over the notebook, and Isuku froze when he realized what was inside.
What? May-chan, I don't need a logo.
May scoffed.
Of course you need a logo, Isukun! Imagine! Heroes are going to be looking for the perfect analyst to help them on important missions. Who else are they going to pick besides Cheat Code, the victor of the USJ?
Shinso didn't bother hiding his laughter as Isukun blushed and covered his face with his arms.
May-chan! Hence why I needed Shinso.
May huffed.
So, extra credit-kun, which of these ideas is your favorite?
Hey,
Shinso grinned at him and pulled the notebook towards him.
Ooh, these are cool.
Yep!
May grinned.
I'm thinking about making stamps, maybe even paper embossers. You know, one of those little texture things that leaves an imprint on the page.
Ooh, I like that,
Shinso said, still grinning. The traitor.
He was enjoying this, wasn't he?
Me too,
May said.
It'd be perfect for when Isakun finishes his reports on the first years, because then he could just put his logo on the final page and...
Isuku finally got enough control over his vocal cords to stop mindlessly sputtering and interrupt the two before they plotted to make him even more famous or something.
Guys, don't I get a say in this?
Of course, Isakun,
May said sweetly.
You can pick the logo.
Isuku scowled at her, but when she didn't give in, he sighed and pulled the notebook towards himself. Shinso wasn't lying. They were really cool. They were few in various stages of completion from where May had obviously gotten bored before finishing them, but they still gave him a really good idea of what was going through her head as she designed them. She had obviously tried to lean into the gamer aesthetic with cheat code, which Isuku could appreciate, even if he really didn't want a logo. A few of them were based on the D-pad from the video game controllers, with various different colors on each button. A few of them looked more like crosses, while others had buttons, and others were even more stylized. One even showed the D-pad on the controller, which Isuku thought was a nice touch, even if it made the logo look a little busy. Another one had the same problem, although it went with more of a hacking or PC gaming aesthetic. It was a laptop, and on the screen it had his code name written in it as if it were a piece of coding. There were only a few keys on the keyboard, though. Just the A, the B, and the spacebar, which said start for some reason.
May, why is this computer so weird?
Isuku finally asked.
I wouldn't be able to code anything with that keyboard, and why are those the only keys? It's because it's based on the famous cheat code,
Shinso said. When May and Isuku both turned to stare at him, he shrugged defensively.
What? No one wanted to play with the future villains, so I ended up just spending a lot of time playing video games.
No one wanted to play with me either, but I ended up just chasing hero fights, Isuku pointed out.
And I ended up inventing,
May added.
But that's not important! Didn't you look at how the cheat code is written?
Isuku leaned down so that he could see the paper a little bit better.
You mean the arrows on some of the letters?
May groaned.
Isakun, you're hopeless! I thought you were supposed to be, super nerdy.
That doesn't mean I know everything about video games,
Isuku yelled.
I spent forever on that!
I'm sorry! It's a stylized version of the Konami code,
Shinso interrupted.
Up, down, left, right, BA, start. The arrows are all in your code name. 2 ups on the H, 2 downs on the A, 1 left, 1 right on the T, another left and right on the E, then the rest of the code is in the keyboard. It's a nice touch.
Oh. Isuku looked a little closer.
That makes sense.
The more that he looked at it, he really liked the stylized way that one was written, with the arrows playing homage to the real cheat code. Honestly, it looked kind of badass, like something that Katsuki would be jealous of, which obviously meant that Isuku had to have it. He still didn't like the laptop, though.
Would it be possible to combine the writing with one of the others?
Of course!
May said excitedly.
One of the advantages of that one is that you could use it on its own, or you can use it as a signature if anyone ever asks you for your autograph.
And now he was blushing again.
May-chan, I'm just an analyst. No one's ever going to ask me for an autograph.
Never say never, Isakun!
May cackled.
Can we just pick one to combine it with?
Isuku pouted.
I like this one.
Shinso pointed to the page.
Though I'm also partial to the one with glitching effects, but they would be hard to use as a signature.
I'm not going to be signing anything, Isuku insisted. He looked up at the logo that Shinso was pointing to, which was one with the D-pad inspired ones. Each one of the buttons was an arrow pointing to the center, and one of the 3 were purple, green, and pink, while the bottom one just said cheat code.
I like it, but what do the colors mean?
They're us!
May said proudly. Shinso blinked at her.
What?
See?
May gestured animatedly toward the page.
Pink is for me, green is for Isakun, and purple is for Extra Credit
Ishiku-kun! Shinso was trying to hide the nervousness under a layer of skepticism, but to Ishiku, he just looked slightly nauseous.
Why am I on there?
Ishiku shrugged.
I need another color, and you're the first person that I thought of.
We could probably use another color, Ishiku offered quickly. Why not orange for Power Loader?
Those colors would clash,
May complained.
Purple works best.
Ishiku really didn't want to make Shinso uncomfortable, which being included in the logo was clearly doing. How about we just make those 3 buttons black? Then they'll contrast well with the white buttons, and we can put the style cheat code signature on that one.
Ooh, I like it,
May said.
I still like the color, but black and white will work well too. It's all techie.
Shinso shot Ishiku a grateful look, and he smiled back as May quickly sketched out the new logo.
What do you think?
Ishiku and Shinso leaned over the page, and Ishiku couldn't hold back a smile. Even though he still didn't think he really needed a logo, it had turned out pretty cool, and it was a fun thing to do with his friends. He liked it.
Now all that's left is to engrave it into everything that you own,
Shinso said with a shit-eating grin. Never mind. Next time that they need to pull Shinso out of class, Ishiku is going to send May. See how he liked being called Extra Credit Kun in front of all of his classmates.
What? He was just practicing being petty.